Welcome back to the Untitled Podcast, and as promised, today we are going to talk a little bit about something that is close to our hearts,
Yes.
and that is hurricane preparation. Woo! So if you've lived here in Southwest Florida for any amount of time, you know preparing for a hurricane just becomes like second nature to you, but there's many people out here who have not been through a hurricane and don't particularly know what to do in order to prep for one. So
Not that long ago, we were one of those people.
we were.
Yeah.
So today, one of the things we're going to talk about is some of the basics of what you need to have prepared if a hurricane is coming, and more importantly, why you need those things. Because I
Correct.
think we got the list when we first moved down here, but it's one of those that you're like, why do I need this? And you don't know until you know.
Yep.
And now we have firsthand knowledge.
Yeah.
And so we're going to share that with you. So first of all, we got 2 shout outs today. Shout out to Urban Buzz for constantly fueling
Yeah.
our videos. And this isn't a shout out, but check out the new swag.
The new swag is in. I got it on my shirt right here.
Whoop, whoop. All right, let's get into it. So a hurricane is forming. They need to start prepping right away.
Yes.
Right away, as soon as possible, because
Immediately.
as we know, the store shelves empty.
Yep.
So we're going to talk, I need to restart. We're just going to cut this out and just keep recording.
Okay.
It's fine. I could probably just jump back in and edit that out.
yeah.
Okay.
My recommendation is to prepare before a hurricane is forming. So,
Have these things stocked up every year
Constantly,
in
yeah.
your garage or
Yep.
your pantry or something like that.
Correct.
And we're going to start off with some of the basic things and kind of maybe lend a little perspective. Like everybody knows you need to have water, but let's talk
course.
about what we used and how much we used.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there and we'll kind of get into the more expensive things as we go along.
right.
So let's just jump right in. So first off, let's talk about water. Everybody
Water.
knows you need water.
Yes.
And I think they recommend about a gallon of water per person per day.
Yeah.
But when we first moved down here, my thought was, well, we've got 5 people in our family. 2 cases of water should be sufficient.
Those go so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
So in Hurricane Ian, we were without not only power, but without water for a week or 2. And then even after that, we were under boil notice, at least
Right.
in our area, meaning that we couldn't drink the water without boiling it. So water became essential. And we went through a lot of it. Thank God my mom stocked up on gallons of water. She was more prepared than we were for it. But you not only think about, it's not just hydration. You're also thinking about cooking. You're
Yep.
also thinking about washing the dishes,
What about your pets?
your pets, your sanitizing things, like brushing your teeth. If you want to take a shower, I remember when we came down right after Ian and I handed people gallons of water and they were like, yes, I get to take a shower, because
Yeah.
water just wasn't running. And while that may not be the most important thing at that time,
Do you mean showers or water?
showers, when you're in that, there's nothing better than
Agreed.
a good shower, even if
I
it's
agree.
from
Yeah.
a gallon of water. So we've stocked up our water. The other essentials is like food, obviously.
Yep.
So what would you recommend with food?
Oh my gosh, anything that's non-perishable, right? So, if you're gonna get cans, make sure that you don't have an electric can opener. Make sure you have one of the old school ones from the 1800s, like we do.
Make sure you're and make sure you can cook it. That's another thing is
Well,
like
right.
the first time I stocked up, I remember I had frozen burritos filled up in the fridge and I'm like, this will last us for days. And then I'm like, how do
And
we
we're not gonna be able to warm them up.
How do we heat them
Yeah.
up? You just let them thaw and eat cold burritos.
Yes.
But I know, of course, peanut butter and jelly is the lifesaver in a
Especially if you
hurricane.
have kiddos, but yep.
Anything like that you can eat without having to prepare. Tuna, for protein. That's really, that's a huge thing. But if you are going to get things that you have to prepare, like pasta, or you mentioned rice and beans and stuff like that, just make sure you have a way to prepare them.
Whether that's your grill and you have gas, propane, whatever, maybe,
or you have a generator that you can cook on your stove. Make sure that you have all of that prepped. And with that said, if you have an infant, make sure you're stocked up on baby food, and make sure that you have plenty of pet food at all times, stocked up. I suggest, actually, if you keep, I think about it with Enzo, our dog, we keep his food on the ground. And so if you have your food like out in the garage on the ground like we do, important to bring some of that in so you're prepped for that.
Yep. Think about the fur babies.
Think about the fur babies. So you mentioned having propane to fill up your thing. Those are the biggest two things that I would say we stock up on immediately as soon as we know that a hurricane might be possible. That is propane for our grill, so that we have the ability to cook food, and gas because we have a generator. Now, whether you have a generator or not, make sure your car tank is filled with gas.
Absolutely.
The gas lines are so long, and if the power does go out, gas is going to be the number one. Everybody's going to hit the gas station to get all the gas to run their generators.
Grab a couple big jugs of gas, right, that you can fill up, store in your garage or whatever it may be, in a safe place.
Yes, and we have 3 propane tanks that we keep full
always
at all times.
Just a little pro tip: you can get them refilled at Ace Hardware. So instead of having to replace them, which costs about $25 a pop, you can refill them for about $12 at Ace Hardware. So pro tip.
You learned that. I'm so proud.
And they have a stamp system too, so you can get a free one on like the 10th or whatever it might be.
Have we earned that yet? We have to
multiple times over. Yeah,
we have to.
Yeah.
So we're talking about. We mentioned a generator, right? Which obviously we'll get to that and kind of some tips on that. But a lot of people think like generator specifically for lights. So I want to talk about that because one of the things that everybody was always, it's like number one on the list when people talk about stocking up, and that's batteries. And I'm like, I've always been like, this is the dumb part of me where I'm like, what the hell do you need batteries for? And I'm like, oh, for flashlights, because everybody needs flashlights. But we found something even better these last couple hurricanes were electric rechargeable lanterns. Those were a lifesaver because instead of having multiple flashlights, we just set a couple lanterns around the house and everybody could see.
I think it's smart to have both, right? To have the flashlights and something like a rechargeable lantern. Don't use the batteries unless you have to, but if you're not able to recharge your lantern, then you can go to the backup system, and that's batteries and traditional flashlights.
Yeah, and the nice thing about some of those lanterns, at least the one that we have, and I absolutely love it, is the fact that you can charge your phone or something like that. So
they're like a mini power bank.
Yeah, so for instance, when the kid's iPad went out and it's 10 o'clock at night and they won't go to sleep, we could charge it. Which, speaking of which, make sure you get a power bank.
A couple.
I don't care if they're small or if you go large, but you need a power bank because power goes rapidly.
Yeah.
If you have kids or not, like we're on our phones constantly.
Plan at least one power bank per device that is being used. So if your kids have a Switch or an iPod, oh my goodness, millennial, iPad, or whatever it may be, that way you can keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, that was essential for us. We have 3 kids, and so just making sure that, I know that doesn't seem like the first thing people want to or like are thinking about in a hurricane, but if you are going through that, you want your kids to feel as comfortable as possible. You want to feel as comfortable as possible. And I know for us, if you know anything about me or if you've ever met me, you know if a hurricane's coming, I'm on Facebook 24/7 checking Mike's weather page. I need my phone to work because I need to know what's going on in those situations. So having a power bank for your mobile devices to plug in lanterns or anything like that is incredibly important. And I would say essential.
I agree.
Absolutely
Completely
essential.
agree.
So let's move. Let's move to the bigger things. I want to talk a little bit about a generator. Because when we moved down here, I knew what a generator was, and I kind of understood what I needed it for, but I didn't really know. We went 5 years before we bought a generator. 4 years, because we bought one last year.
We bought one and then returned it because we didn't need it because the hurricane didn't hit that they were saying was going to happen. I don't remember when that was.
I don't remember which one that
But we
was.
returned it thinking it wasn't ever going to happen.
And then Ian hit, and my mom had a generator, and hers got flooded out. And then in Milton, we were finally like, you know what? I don't want to go through this power outage again because we lost power in Helene, and we're like, we're just going to go ahead and buy one. So the generator that we bought, is there a certain size that you would recommend people get down here?
So what I would recommend is a couple things, is talk to an electrician and figure out how much wattage your house needs to run whatever you want it to run. If you want it just to run your lights in an oven, there's so many different sizes. Obviously, the bigger the better. But obviously the bigger comes with a price tag.
Yeah.
So you can get something pretty small that'll just run lights, like 3 lights at a time, or a power outlet or whatever it may be. And then you can get whole house generators that'll run. You won't even notice that the power in the neighborhood's out because it's covering everything. Which
for us, I mean, we brought our generator over to our neighbor's house when we stayed there in the last hurricane because we were anticipating flooding. And we had the refrigerator, just an extension cord run out and plugged into there, which was great. But at our house, after the hurricane, the power was out. And we had the electrician come over and install a whole I can't say those words. Whole home plug.
Correct.
Where basically we shut off the power to the house. We plugged it in, and it was able to give us all the lights, give us fans, be able to run the stove. I mean, I think the microwave, it kind of surged on that because we were drawing a lot of power, but it still ran most everything.
Or it can run just the AC by itself, but nothing else. And something else that you can get is a AC slow start, which an HVAC technician would have to install. But basically, it allows your air conditioning to come on slower as opposed to having that big major draw right when it kicks on. And that way you can run everything in the house with just one of the portable generators.
Are you going to get that installed for our house? Because I need it. I absolutely need that. Oh my gosh. How did I miss this thing?
I knew exactly what you had forgotten. And one is staring you right in the face.
Yep. We are going to talk about the most essential thing that you need to have during a hurricane. I bought one of these after Helene because I was just done. I had it for Milton, and now I literally use it daily. You've now bought one, and I swear by these things, and that is a portable fan. And I am not talking one of the little handheld fans, which those are great, but this fan has a little stand. It oscillates, and
it's rechargeable.
It runs for hours.
It does. It runs forever.
And that was a saving grace during Milton because we lost power in Milton, I want to say like 8 o'clock at night. And when you're trying to sleep and it's that hot outside, like you're just trying to make it through I didn't go to bed till like 4 a.m. But when I did try to sleep, I was burning.
Yeah, it was warm. Yeah.
That little fan saved my life. I swear by it. It lives in my bathroom. I'm always hot. So
it's a worthwhile expense for sure.
If you're a Floridian and you haven't bought one, go buy one right now and then call me if you ever have to use it and thank me because you will. So the last thing that I want to talk about, I mean, we've kind of covered the basics of what you need. We could get more detailed, but I think...
And we will at some point, I think.
We can at some point, but I think the other big thing is you always need, whether you're going to be staying or not, you need the box.
The box is the most important thing, in my opinion.
The box is the most important thing. And what we mean by the box is your essentials box, your valuables box, your to-go box, whatever you want to call it. And that is the things, not only important documents and things like that, but things that are valuable to you.
Yeah, personally.
So our box, and I have this list, I keep it on my phone, and it's been like I put it on my phone during Ian. I wrote it down, and then
I thought that was the most brilliant thing you did, honestly. It was fantastic.
Yeah, during Milton, I just pulled it back up and we just repacked everything. And so we have this big black box with one of the yellow lids that
yellow
you buy
lid boxes from
Costco, Home Depot. And what we always, immediately what goes in there for us, and you need to think about these things for yourself, but for us, it's the computers go in.
Of course.
The hard drive goes in.
Of course.
My father's ashes go in there. Our IDs,
passports,
social security cards, anything like that
our
you
Bibles,
need.
which are very special to us.
Our Bibles are very important. I have a coffee mug that I bought when we went to Disney for the first time with Dad, and that always will go in there. Of course, I've got my childhood blankie. We've got, don't laugh at it. It's important. It's been holding on for over 30 years.
I didn't mean to. That was a slip.
And then for each of the kids, we've got their stuffed animals.
Correct.
And make sure those are in there. I know there's a couple of other things on the list, but
like birth certificates, like I said, anything that's important that you wouldn't want to stand in line to get afterwards somewhere, or wouldn't be able to stand in line to get, whatever. So,
and then always tucked away in there, without a doubt, is going to be an envelope full of cash.
Yes.
And that is another thing that, thank God, I took a whole bunch of cash with us when we evacuated for Ian, and I don't know what possessed me to do it, but after the fact, we were so thankful because for the first 2 weeks, barely anything had power up here unless you went really far north, and everything was cash. If you wanted to go buy food, it's cash. You needed gas, it's cash. You needed to go to the grocery store, it's cash. Like anything was cash, and you couldn't use your credit card, like period. And so for us, having that stash was so important, just to be able to, because for the first little while afterwards, like, yes, you have all the food and everything, but I remember when the deck opened and you were like, oh my gosh, our first hot meal, like tacos, I was willing to pay $10 for tacos that day. Thank God we tacos. Had cash. So that,
I still think about those tacos. Shout out to the deck. That was amazing.
Absolutely, Dylan, lifesaver.
And they cooked him on a generator.
They did.
Actually, yep.
They did.
Yeah,
so obviously, we are going to talk about, we're going to do another video on what you need to do to prep your home, and particularly if you need to evacuate. But these are the things that you need to have stocked up and prepared in the event of a hurricane. Again, I think having these things, a stock full of water and food that you can easily go to, get them throughout the year and just keep them stocked in your garage. Investing in a generator or a power bank of some sort. Absolutely buy your rechargeable fan and a couple rechargeable lanterns, and have your to-go box. Have at least the list ready so that you're not in a panic if there is a hurricane coming.
I think the last thing you're going to want to do in the event of a hurricane is try to remember everything you need to put somewhere. So having a list and taking that, need to have to think about things is so important. You just check it all off there, put it in there, and make your decisions from there. So
absolutely, especially if you've never been through a hurricane. And we've been, we've been through how many now? Like 5,
at least.
I think.
Yeah.
But even us, when you're potentially looking at having to evacuate, you go slightly into panic mode.
Yeah.
A little bit. And so having that prepped and ready to go is absolutely essential. So I will end this with saying we do have 2 resources for you guys. We've put together a hurricane preparation guide that has everything you need, including checklists of what you need to get, how to find your evacuation zone, and just tips from people who have lived through it. And we've also put together an Amazon shopping list to kind of give you a little bit of help. If you don't know where to start, we've got everything on there. You can literally add to cart and you're all stocked up right away. But we want to make sure that you are prepared. As fellow Southwest Florida Floridians, we got to look out for each other. Man, I am all tongue-tied today.
It's Friday.
It's terrible. It's
Mama's
terrible.
ready.
Well, thanks for joining us on this episode. I hope you guys found this
Thanks, you
valuable.
guys.
Again, check the links below to download our guide or to shop our Amazon storefront. We'll see you guys next time when we talk about how to prepare your home.
Bye, y'all.